Today we're going to be taking a look at a 2023 Toyota Venza XLE. Let's get started. This is now the third year that this second generation Venza is available for sale in the United States, and this year Toyota made some minor upgrades to the screens which we'll go over later in today's video. Under the hood we have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine which combined with the hybrid batteries gives the Venza 219 net combined horsepower. Every single Venza is a hybrid and has standard all-wheel drive, and the Venzas are rated at 39 average miles per gallon. The XLE model starts at $38,330, and this one here as spec'd is $41,004. In this overview, we're going to go over the exterior and then we're going to jump inside and talk about some of the features. As usual, we're going to start right here in the front, and we can take a look at the paint color on this Venza. This is Toyota's Windchill Pearl, which is one of their 3 pearl options on the Venza, and it's a $425 extra add-on from the factory if you want one of the pearl paints. We also get these lawn LED headlights with LED daytime running lights, and just down below at the very bottom of the grille, we also have LED fog lights. In the front, there is a blue Toyota emblem because every Venza is a hybrid. Behind the Toyota emblem is also the radar that helps us with the Toyota Safety Sense functions. The Venza has Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 Plus. There's also this lawn strip of chrome that separates the headlights and this front area from the front grille. The front grille isn't too large, but we do have some of our parking sensors in the front up on the grille, and underneath the grille we have another strip of chrome that separates the upper grille from the lower grille where the fog lights are. At the top of the windshield there's a forward-facing camera that also assists with the Toyota Safety Sense features. Moving on to wheels and tires, these are Toyota's 19-inch multi-spoke super chrome alloy wheels, and the tire size here is 225/55 R19. Moving on to the side now, Toyota does have automatic folding mirrors on the Venza, so as long as we press the lock button on the key, you can see the mirrors will start to fold in, and then when the car is unlocked, the mirrors will fold out. The mirrors also have a turn signal indicator built into the side and blind spot monitor standard. And speaking of the key, every single Venza does come with the smart key system standard, so push button start is available on every Venza model, even the LE. And what's unlike most Toyotas is that every single Venza does have keyless entry on all 4 of the doors, not just the front 2 like you would see in most other Toyota models. So we also have these lines back here on the rear door handles. We can lock by just pressing right here, and we can unlock the Venza by having the key nearby and putting your hand just behind the door handles. Around the windows, there's going to be a lot of chrome running across the top and bottom, and then in between the front and rear windows, we have some gloss black. At the bottom of the side, there's some black plastic cladding. Moving up to the top, there's these silver roof rails where you can mount crossbars or any other objects that you want on top of your Venza. Back there, there's also a white shark fin antenna to color match to the body paint of this Venza, and you can see that there is no sunroof here on the XLE. If you do want the Stargaze panoramic sunroof, which is available on the Venza, you'll have to go for the limited model or the XLE Nightshade edition. Behind the rear door on the driver's side, we do have our fuel door, which has to be opened from inside the cabin, and the Venza takes regular 87 octane gas. Moving on to the rear now, there is somewhat of a spoiler back here that does hide some of the upper portions of the rear glass, and we also have a rear wiper back here. The taillights are connected with another blue Toyota emblem back there. A reverse camera is just underneath that blue Toyota emblem, and we also have some Venza and XLE chrome badges back here. Moving further below, we have our rear parking sensors back here, a little bit more chrome. The turn signals for the rear are also very low at the bottom, and then we have our black plastic bumper piece. There's also 2 exhaust tips, one on each side, but if we come up close to them, you can see where the real exhaust tip is and where the fake one is to make it look a little bit nicer. There's a few different ways to open the liftgate in the Venza. Firstly, there is a button inside the cabin. Secondly, you can use the smart key system and hold down on the 3rd button right over here. You can also use the button right underneath the Toyota emblem, or lastly, you can also use kick to open. In the cargo area, the Venza has 28.8 cubic feet of space, which is a bit less than the 37.5 that's offered on the Rav4. Back here you can see one of the 9 JBL speakers in this interior. It is a $580 factory upgrade if you don't want the 6 Toyota speakers. Toyota also gave this one their first aid kit, rubber floor mats, rubber cargo mat, and every Venza underneath this floorboard is also going to have a spare tire. The Venzas also come with this rear sliding cargo cover, which you can attach to these points on the side and hide what you have inside the cargo area. The sliding cargo cover can be removed and the seats can be folded down to give you additional space in the rear. Next, let's jump inside and talk about some of the interior features. As usual, we're going to start with the door card, which has a mix of soft touch leather over here, as well as some plastic down below. There is some spaces to put some water bottles and another one of those interior speakers. This Venza also has auto up-down windows on all 4 corners, a window lock button, lock and unlock for the whole car, mirror adjustments, auto folding mirror adjustments, as well as 2 memory seat positions. There's also a chrome door handle and some chrome going around this window control area. There's also going to be a little pocket right here, which you're going to use to open and close this door. Next up, let's take a look at these interior seats, which are Toyota's fake leather that they call Softex. This is going to be a little bit more soft than real leather. The driver's seat also does have power seat controls with lumbar support, and the passenger side does not get any power seats. It's all manual seats on the passenger side with no lumbar support. Now, before we fully get in, let's talk about some of the stuff that we have here beside the steering wheel. So firstly, as you're getting in, you have this plaque right here that does say Venza. There is our release for the fuel door down here as well, and the release for the hood. Over here, we have a brightness control for the center gauges, an automatic high beams button, traction control off, and opening and closing for the power liftgate. The steering wheel also has a power control, so you can adjust the steering wheel using this knob right here. And when you turn off the Venza, you can see that the steering wheel goes back up into a higher position and the seat slides into a further back position, so you can get in and out of the Venza a little bit easier. Sitting inside of the Venza now, we do have this leather wrapped steering wheel over here that does have black stitching as well. In the center, we have our airbag and horn, and we do have plenty of buttons on the steering wheel as well. The right side controls some of the Toyota Safety Sense features like the radar guided cruise control and the lane depart assist. The bottom row has the audio and multimedia function, so we can skip tracks or change the volume over here. And the left side with these arrows is going to control what we see in the 7-inch multi-information display on the gauges. Behind the steering wheel on the left, we have our turn signal and light controls, and on the right side we have our wiper controls. The push to start button isn't where you would normally find it, which would be behind the steering wheel, but instead we have it just below the climate controls over here. Let's turn this Venza on and see what it looks like. In the center of the gauges, we have that 7-inch multi-information display, which has some useful information that we can control using the arrows on the steering wheel. So we have an eco page, driving support page, audio page, energy monitor, settings, and warning messages. Each one of these pages as well, you can also scroll left and right within to see different information. Like for the eco indicator, I have digital speed, EV ratio, fuel economy, and eco score. We can also scroll down to driving support, which has just one page. Audio also just has one page. The next page has your energy monitor, tire pressure, all-wheel drive system, and safety system status. The next page has all of the settings for the vehicle, so we can hold down on the OK button over here to adjust any of the safety systems. And lastly, the bottom page will display any warning messages if there are any. On the left and right side, we have some old school looking gauges. So the right side just has our speedometer and our fuel, and the left side has our driving indicator. We can tell if we're in charge, eco, or power. There is no tachometer because this is a hybrid, and we also have engine temperature at the bottom. If you do get the more fully loaded limited Venza, you'll have a 12.3-inch fully digital gauge as opposed to this 7-inch with the 2 physical gauges. Behind the steering wheel, we also have an odometer trip reset button. Next up, we have our infotainment screen, which did get updated this year. This is Toyota's new 12.3-inch display that does have their new software, so we do have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. It's very easy to set it up, and it connects to your phone very simply. You can see I've already connected mine to my phone, so it automatically puts me into Apple CarPlay over here. And we do have these volume buttons over here, so we have volume plus, volume down, and we have power to turn off the whole system. Right below the screen, we have a button to turn on our emergency lights, 2 more air vents, as well as our touch climate control buttons. So we can touch any of these buttons right here to adjust the climate. This is a dual zone climate control, so we can have a different temperature for a driver and a different temperature for the passenger. Below the climate controls, right where the power button is, we also have a wireless phone charger down there where you can just place your phone and it's going to start charging. And we also have 3 USB-C ports. 2 of them are just for charging, and one of them is also a media port. Next up, we have an electronic parking brake hold feature, EV mode because this is a hybrid, and then we also have 3 different drive modes which we can press on this right here to switch between. So we have eco, normal, and sport. Then we have our shifter, which does have a sport mode right here. You can simulate the shifting of gears up and down because this is an eCVT transmission. There's 2 cup holders behind the shifter, and we do also have behind these cup holders are buttons for our heated seats, which are well hidden, and if you know where they are, you can just press on them, but if you don't know where they are, you can actually slide the center console back to reveal those buttons. Opening up the center console, we can see that we do have this tray right here where you can place some of your smaller cups. This tray right here is also just removable, and we can see how much space we have inside of the center console. The center console isn't too large, but we do have a 12-volt power outlet back here. Next up, we're going to jump into the passenger seat where we have another one of these Venza plaques over here, and the door card is going to be very similar to what we see on the driver's side. The seat is very much the same, but the only difference is that we have manual seat controls and no power seats. Sitting inside of the passenger seat now, we can see more of the chrome that we have in this interior. So there is chrome running around this entire center area, and there's also some more chrome running around this air vent on the side. There's also some more soft touch material over here, as well as some hard plastics for the glove box and the dash. And the glove box is rather small for the size of this car. Moving up from the dash, we have this auto-dimming rear view mirror over here, which has this button to turn it on. And then we have also 3 buttons to the left, which allow you to connect up to 3 different garage remotes to open your garages or gates. Moving up from that, we also have this emergency SOS button over here, as well as our light controls. And the visors also do have a mirror and a light. They can be swiveled around like this. You can't extend the entire visor, but you do have this small little extended portion over here. Next up, we're going to jump into the back seats of the Venza, starting with this door card. It's just smaller and has less things, but it is the same style as what we see in the front with a lot of soft touch material. Sitting inside of the back seats now, we do have this pocket right here behind the driver and behind the passenger seat. There is also 2 air vents back here and 2 more USB-C ports at the very bottom. The center seat also has this folding down portion, which you can use as an armrest or 2 extra cup holders if you don't have anybody sitting in the middle seat. The back seat passengers also have their own light control. There are child seat latch points on the outer seats, and these seats can also be folded down very easily by lifting up right here and folding the seat forward. That's going to do it for this week's overview of the 2023 Toyota Venza XLE. Let me know your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.